Hello, I'm Jane McGarry, and I'm excited to be your guide as you learn more about sponsoring a HOSA chapter and the benefits of HOSA membership to students. This is the first of 6 videos that begins with an introduction to HOSA. In the second video, I'll tell you about HOSA chapters. The steps for starting a HOSA chapter are included in the third video, and in number 4, I'll tell you about the HOSA officers and team. Video number 5 will suggest ways you can integrate HOSA into your classroom, and finally, I'll provide you with some recruiting tips in video number 6. If you're a newly hired health science classroom teacher, you may be thinking, hold on a second, what exactly is HOSA? HOSA, or Health Occupations Students of America, is a national career and technical student organization endorsed by the U.S. Department of Education and the Health Science Technology Division of the Association for Career and Technical Education. HOSA is composed of secondary and post-secondary students. As an advisor, it's important to understand the purpose of HOSA, which is to develop leadership and technical skill competencies through a program of motivation, awareness, and recognition in order to prepare students to successfully pursue a health career. Keeping that in mind, let's check out some of the guiding principles presented by some experienced HOSA members.
HOSA is a student-led organization. Let us do the leading and you do the advising.
The best HOSA activities support the purpose. No two HOSA chapters are alike, so don't compare our activities with what others are doing. Instead, measure our success by the growth and achievement of your chapter members.
Don't keep it a secret. Be proud of what we're doing and use every opportunity to brag on our achievements.
Make sure we are doing the work. If you are working harder than we are, remember the purpose of HOSA and make the needed changes.
You don't need to do it all, but we need you to support us. Be an active sponsor from day one and let your chapter members set the pace.
Be patient with yourself. You are new at this. Rely on your handbook, colleagues, and learn as you go.
Don't get discouraged. As students, we don't always do what you expect us to do. When we make mistakes, it isn't personal.
HOSA is supposed to be fun for us and you. Check on us and make sure we have a reason to feel good about HOSA. Encourage us, but don't pressure us. Celebrate the good and don't miss an opportunity to help us improve. Most of all, sit back and watch us achieve and succeed. That's your real reward for sponsoring a HOSA chapter.
Now that you have a sense of the HOSA purpose and the guiding principles, let me share some HOSA history and background with you. Since its inception in 1976, HOSA has grown steadily, reaching more than 100,000 members through 48 affiliated state associations and the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico, representing more than 2,800 chapters in all. HOSA is not a club that is joined by a few students, but rather a powerful instructional tool that works best when integrated into the HSTE curriculum and classroom. Health science instructors are committed to the development of the total person. Those who join the HSTE HOSA partnership recognize the importance of providing students with training far beyond the basic technical skills needed for entry into the healthcare field. The rapidly changing healthcare system needs dedicated workers who, in addition to technical skills, are people-oriented and capable of playing a leadership role as a member of a healthcare team. HOSA's mission is especially critical when considering the acute shortage of qualified workers for the healthcare industry. It is essential that the HSTE HOSA partnership maintain its momentum and encourage all health science instructors to integrate HOSA into their curriculum and classrooms. Membership in HOSA is of great benefit to many students. Let's hear about HOSA's positive impact from actual HOSA members.
In HOSA, you have the chance to meet and socialize with other students that share the same interests as you.
When you're in HOSA, there are plenty of leadership development opportunities.
HOSA has given me the opportunity to participate and compete in area, state, and national leadership conferences.
Being in HOSA has given me the opportunity to develop an understanding in current healthcare issues and an awareness of environmental concerns through competition and classroom academics.
There are a lot of scholarship opportunities available through HOSA.
Being in HOSA has given me the opportunity to meet outstanding leaders in the health profession and educational seminars specific for HOSA members.
Being in HOSA has increased my confidence and enhanced my self-esteem.
As you can see, the benefits of HOSA to students can be life-changing. As an advisor, you have the opportunity to guide, influence, and inspire students to reach for their goals. In our next segment, I'll introduce you to the types of HOSA chapters and levels of HOSA membership. I'm glad you're back to learn more about HOSA. Now that you know something about the purpose and benefits of HOSA, I would like to tell you about the types of HOSA chapters and levels of membership. While no two HOSA chapters are exactly alike, there are three basic structures: comprehensive high school with one or more advisors, a magnet school or technical center with multiple advisors, and health industry-based chapters. Listen to some HOSA advisors tell you more about each type of chapter.
Most HOSA chapters are at the local high school, where the local high school teacher serves as the advisor. Kids that are enrolled in a health science class can be a part of HOSA. And if kids are interested in going into a health science career but are not in a health science class, they're also welcome to join the HOSA chapter.
Magnet schools or technical schools, which could also include secondary, which is the high school level, post-secondary, which is community college. You can have multiple advisors with multiple chapters, or what you could choose to do, you could have one chapter with everybody in it, which would be a big number. Option 2 would be to break it down by program. Are you a dental assisting? Then put all your dental assisting kids together and they can form their own chapter. Or clinical nursing, they could be their own chapter. That way the advisors see them more often. A third thing would be to have one chapter with multiple advisors. That way they are able to instruct from different perspectives.
An AHEC is an Area Health Education Center. What this is an organization that is multidisciplinary and multi-institutional, and their purpose is to meet the staffing needs of underserved communities within the context of healthcare workers. They can pull students from different areas, different sorts of institutions, to get them trained to meet the needs of that particular community.
As you can see, there are a variety of ways to organize a HOSA chapter, depending on the nature of your school and the needs of your students. All student members and advisors should pay their HOSA dues and affiliate with the state and national organization. Only affiliated HOSA chapters can call themselves HOSA and use the online resources available to HOSA members. Now let's look at the levels of HOSA membership. When members join a local HOSA chapter, they also join their state association and national HOSA. Some states even have an additional level of membership between the local chapter and state level. Membership at all levels is required. There are no HOSA memberships at only one level. That's all for this segment. Next, we'll review the steps for starting a HOSA chapter with you. Now that you have decided to sponsor a HOSA chapter, let's talk about the steps to get started. If you are starting a new HSTE program at your school and you'll be forming a new chapter, access the state website and click on the New Chapter button. Follow the instructions given to form your new chapter. The state advisor will email you the chapter number and password so you can affiliate yourself and your students. If you are replacing a teacher and there is already one or more HOSA chapters in existence at your school, you will only need to replace the former teacher's name with yours when you fill out the online affiliation for the students. Whether you are starting a new HOSA chapter or stepping into an already established one, this is your opportunity to create an exceptional organization for students. Let's hear from some experienced advisors on keys to getting your HOSA chapter organized and off to a good start.
Make sure you follow the rules of your institution and get the support of your administrators.
Tell your students about the purpose of HOSA. Refer them to the HOSA website to do an assignment. Also encourage membership to HOSA that will help them now and also in the future.
Have a startup plan. One option would be to have interested students form a committee to plan things such as coming up with a constitution and bylaws and a plan for electing officers. An existing HOSA chapter would already have these things in place.
Students need encouragement, guidance, and responsibility. If you let them know what they need to do and guide them, they will do it.
Collect dues and complete your online membership affiliation. Remember, your students are not members until they pay dues and have been properly affiliated online. Also, advisors must pay dues as well.
The best resource for organizing a HOSA chapter is the HOSA Handbook Section C, which can be found on the HOSA website at hosa.org.
That's great advice, but at this point you may be asking, what are the day-to-day responsibilities of a HOSA advisor? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's what a job description might look like. One of your duties is to help the students establish a program of work, which is a list of activities, projects, and events for the year. You will want to acquaint students and parents with HOSA and identify the individual rewards gained through its instructional activities. A good way to do this is to hold an overview meeting open to students and their parents. Your job is to assist officers in carrying out their responsibilities, supervise committee activities, provide time for business and program meetings in which students assume responsibility, and expedite the practice of good parliamentary procedure at all times. Especially in the beginning, oversee the ceremonial functions, such as installation of local chapter officers. Members will need your help to initiate competitive events, emphasize good sportsmanship while assisting students to evaluate their own progress. Encourage students to attend functions open to them and supervise them during attendance. Encourage fundraising activities and supervise the financial aspect. The leadership will need your guidance, so monitor, revise, and constructively critique all reports, such as secretary, treasurer, and committee reports. Encourage capable members to seek local, area, state, and national offices, and encourage overall chapter participation in area, state, and national conferences. Assist students in preparing for leadership activities and competitive events, and coordinate other forms of student recognition. Identify contacts with members of the professional community relative to the student organization. Suggest resources to members, people, places, and materials to finance and implement the program of work. Inform the local administration, faculty, students, parents, career and technical educational advisory committee, and the community, as well as state and national offices of the chapter's achievements. As you see, your job is an important one. Your chapter needs you to initiate, help, encourage, direct, inspire, and invest in students. One of the things I mentioned in the job description is the program of work. The program of work is the guide for the chapter throughout the year. Simply put, a program of work is a written outline of the activities your chapter plans to accomplish during the year. The program of work should relate to the mission and goals of HOSA and meet the educational objectives of the health science clusters. A well-balanced program of work involves members in a variety of experiences designed to meet their needs as well as the needs of the organization, local chapters, and the community. As the program of work is initiated by members, it's important to have member buy-in from the start. Remember, things may be added and removed as the year goes on, but a program of work gives your group an outline of things they would like to accomplish. Now you have an idea of what it takes to get your HOSA chapter up and running. Next, I'll introduce you to HOSA officers and the team. By now, you should have a good idea of how to get your HOSA chapter up and running. Once the chapter is established, it's up to students to keep it going. The chapter officers are the lifeblood of the organization. Here are some actual HOSA student officers to tell you about each position.
As president of our HOSA chapter, I organize the meetings, communicate with the officers and the members, and find volunteering opportunities.
As vice president of the HOSA chapter, I assist the president and assume their duties in their absence and coordinate all committee work.
My job as the secretary of HOSA is to take minutes, help plan meeting agendas, and record attendance at all chapter meetings.
As HOSA treasurer, I collect HOSA dues, develop the budget, and maintain financial records.
So as historian, the duty is to compile a record of all the activities that went on throughout the year. And using that, we create an outstanding HOSA chapter book, and that book is presented at competition later in the year. And really, it's about, when events go on, you want to capture the moment, just to give people an idea of what went on in that book.
As the HOSA reporter, my job is to maintain records of chapter successes and achievements, to submit articles to local newspapers, and to coordinate the publication of chapter newsletters.
Some chapters also elect a parliamentarian, sergeant-at-arms, and classroom representative. You will want to get officers elected and installed as quickly as possible. Your officers should take workload off of you. Remember, HOSA is a student-led organization. You're there to advise and help out, not do all the work. Installation should occur at one of your HOSA meetings. You can find the official installation ceremony at the National HOSA website. Installing officers is just the beginning. The next step is to help the officers and chapter members work as a team. Effective teams have a clear goal, a focus on achieving results, a plan for reaching the goal, commitment to the goal, competent members, decision by consensus, diversity among team members, effective communication skills, high standards of excellence, informal climate, openness to new ideas, periodic self-assessment, recognition for team accomplishments, shared leadership, and sufficient resources. Your National HOSA New Local Advisor Handbook has more resources and exercises for instilling leadership and building an effective team. So far, we've focused most of our attention on the local HOSA chapter, but that's only part of the total HOSA experience. Another major component is our competitive events. Competition begins at the area level with qualifiers moving on to state and even national competitions. There are currently 53 different HOSA competitive events available to high school and post-secondary or collegiate members. All of the events are an extension of what is taught in the health science classroom, and they're designed to prepare students to successfully pursue a health career. The instructions for all competitive events are found in the event guidelines, which are in the HOSA Handbook, Section B, and of course on the HOSA website. You can also find more information about how to bring HOSA competitive events into your classroom in your National HOSA New Advisor Handbook. Your students will get out of competitive events what they put in. In order to be successful, most students must spend time outside the classroom studying, practicing, and learning. That invariably translates into academic and ultimate career success, and for some, scholarship opportunities to further their education. That's all for now. In our next segment, we'll take a closer look at integrating HOSA into the classroom. So far, you have learned about how to start up a HOSA chapter, the HOSA officers, and competitions. In this segment, we're going to focus on integrating HOSA into the classroom and what you need to do in your first 90 days as a HOSA advisor. Integrating HOSA into the classroom may be easier than you think. Listen to some experienced advisors and how they do it. I think you'll find you're likely doing several of these things already.
Teaching health science and using the HOSA competition guidelines is actually very easy to do and very advantageous. It offers you a lot of ways to give students writing assignments, research assignments, and skill assignments where it's not just having to learn some material for a test, but you can tie it into, this is something you could do as a competitive event where you could possibly go on to national, and where it is something that you could proudly display on your college application and your resume. And it makes it very easy to come up with lesson plans, because if you follow the event guidelines, you really don't have to spend a whole lot of time developing what you're going to do, just looking at what are this year's topics, for example, extemporaneous writing, or like the health careers display, or something along that line, and you've got an almost instant lesson plan.
These great ideas are just a start. There are many more ideas for integrating HOSA and its competitive events in the classroom on the National HOSA website. Integrating HOSA into your classroom is a key focus, but what else will you be doing in the first 90 days as a HOSA advisor? Here's a high-level summary that some HOSA members put together for you. For a more detailed outline of the first 90 days, refer to your National HOSA New Local Advisor Handbook.
Contact your HOSA state advisor to see if there was an existing HOSA chapter or if this will be the new one.
Talk with administration about starting a HOSA chapter.
Look at your calendar and decide when you want to have your first meeting.
Day 1, provide a handout with the date and time of the first student-parent meeting.
Spend time introducing HOSA and its purpose to students.
Calculate dues by accounting for national, state, and local dues.
Conduct a team-building activity with students in the classroom that demonstrates HOSA's value in teaching teamwork.
Assign a HOSA website scavenger hunt and invite students to bring their ideas to the first meeting.
Hold your first HOSA meeting.
Begin researching different types of fundraisers.
Hold your second HOSA meeting.
Begin taking applications for HOSA chapter officers.
Meet with HOSA members to plan a program of work for the year. Begin taking money for HOSA dues.
Students running for office may begin campaigning.
Research travel arrangements for the Fall Leadership Conference.
Hold officer elections.
Announce winners of elections.
At the next HOSA meeting, install officers.
Meet with committee members to brainstorm ideas and narrow activities to bring before the group.
Allow time for officers to report to students about what they did for the Fall Leadership Conference.
Remind students of the deadline for joining HOSA.
Continue to integrate HOSA into the curriculum.
Possibly start a fundraiser.
Have officers put in final data for joining HOSA in print copies.
Request a check to send to National HOSA.
Begin signing up students for HOSA competitions.
Set dates for helping students with competitions.
Continue to have HOSA meetings to keep students in the loop.
Close competition signups and set travel arrangements.
Review your program of work for upcoming events.
As you can see, your first 90 days as a HOSA advisor are busy. However, keep in mind your job is to be an advisor. You don't have to do all the work. Involve students, colleagues, parents, and other partners in the community. In the final segment, we will focus on how you can get the involvement you need to be successful. I'll see you next time. If you've come this far, you must be dedicated to getting a HOSA chapter up and running, or you just really enjoy our engaging and informative videos. So far, our focus has been on getting the chapter started and involving students in HOSA inside and outside the classroom. Involvement in HOSA is broader than that. In this segment, I want to give you some tips for involving parents, your school district, and your entire community. Let's talk about involving parents first. Many parents are willing to volunteer and get involved, they just don't know what opportunities are available. Recruit parents to serve on the HOSA advisory committees. Encourage them to help with fundraisers or in starting a booster club. And invite parents to help as chaperones at socials and trips. Now think about how you can involve your school in supporting HOSA. Students are your best recruiters of HOSA supporters. Simply wearing HOSA t-shirts and scrubs around school helps raise awareness of HOSA. Work with a computer teacher to have a class assignment of making a HOSA brochure. Pick the top ones and reproduce them to hand out to parents, students, and faculty. Your HOSA chapter can sponsor a health fair, school dance, or other activity for non-HSTE students and faculty to further raise awareness. Work with the journalism teacher to assign HOSA articles to the journalism staff that will be published in the school newspaper or on the website. Invite teachers from other departments to chaperone trips and other events. Once you have great support in your school, turn your attention to finding good sponsorship in the school district. Having HOSA members adopt a school board member and corresponding with them is a great way to engage your local school board. Create awareness with future HOSA members by reaching into middle schools and elementary schools. HOSA members can teach elementary students about healthcare basics. At the middle school level, HOSA members can conduct a junior HOSA conference to inform them of future opportunities. Finally, consider how your HOSA chapter can get support and be involved in your local community. Begin by getting to know people in the local healthcare industry and invite them to speak in HOSA meetings or in the classroom. Inquire about taking field trips to their facilities and any volunteer or internship opportunities for HOSA members. HOSA alumni are perfect candidates to start with. Have your HOSA chapter volunteer to serve and/or host a table at local health fairs and local blood drives. Make press releases for key events and alert local media to opportunities to profile your HOSA chapter. With the support of parents, your school, school district, and community, your HOSA chapter can have a profound impact in your community, in your school, and in the lives of your members. Your role as an advisor is not to do all the work, but involve students, other teachers, administrators, and your community in support of the goals of HOSA. You can find anything else you need to know in the National HOSA New Local Advisor Handbook and on the National HOSA website. This concludes the HOSA Video Introduction Series. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about HOSA and for your dedication to further invest in the lives of students. Don't hesitate to contact other advisors, your area HOSA board representatives, or the executive director if you have questions or just need a little guidance. And have a great year.